Well, today is Tuesday, September 10th. It's just after 9 o'clock and I'm not working. I'm in my car enjoying some R&R, but it's not exactly R&R. Basically, I just came back from a hail repair shop where they were doing the appraisal. So waited, almost 3 weeks. They didn't tell me anything. They just said the appraisal is done and they're going to send it over to the insurance company, and then they will wait for their answer if they agree with the assessment. And I asked them, I said, hey, I have a deductible, how can I pay? Like, do you take credit cards or how does it work? And they said, yeah, it's going to be in the very end once they agree. And I said, maybe we can book the repair appointment now because there's so many damaged cars, right? It's going to be another 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks probably till they put me in for repairs. And they said, no, we have to wait for the insurance company to get back to us. And they said, we'll have to order some parts. And then I said, so deductible, what are the forms of payment? They said, yeah, it's at the very end when everything is done. When you're coming over to pick up the keys and the Jeep, that's when you pay. So cool. I should definitely have the money by then. But my boss from work also has the same insurance company, and he's a truck. He has a Ram 1500, very nice looking, almost like brand new truck. Also got hit. And he was assigned the same repair shop where I went this morning, and he said he was there on Sunday because they called him and said there was some cancellations, and if he wants, he can come over. So he didn't have to wait as long as me. So they took him ahead of his appointment. But he says they missed a couple of damaged spots. And so what I did, I brought with me this tape. And I was there like 15 minutes early, and I went around and I took like a small piece, like maybe 1 inch long, and I stuck it everywhere, not everywhere, but on each panel that was damaged. Like there's only one dent on the entire this side, like the driver's side, the doors, the fender, just one dent on the rear door, driver's side. But the hood, the roof, the plastic panels over here, missing plastic piece at the bottom of the windshield, cracked taillight. So I put this everywhere, like again, not on each dent, but just on each panel that has to be either replaced or fixed. And I told them, I said, guys, a friend of mine, I said, my boss had some issues where you guys missed some spots, so I said I marked them. And they did not mind. And the car was done probably in 30 minutes. They brought me the keys. They told me what happens next, that we have to wait for the insurance to call me or give them yes or no. And all my stickers were still on, so I had to remove them. So now I have almost an hour to kill before I have an appointment with a lawyer about that equity thing. That little loan I'm taking out. So once we sign everything, and the equity company gave me the lawyer, so I don't have to pay, it's all included, but I did have to pay for the appraisal. Like it was $400 for the guy to come out. And the sales numbers in my building were 265. He appraised my apartment as 250,000 Canadian, which I don't think is right. But anyway, so now I'm sitting outside of Starbucks. I'm gonna grab some coffee because I feel a bit sleepy, and then I'm gonna go meet with a lawyer at 10 o'clock. And it's basically just everything is already approved. It's just a matter of signatures and bringing some IDs that I am who I say I am, and that's it. And then they should the equity company should drop the cash directly into my bank account within a few business days. Well, I just signed my life away with a lawyer. Man, I probably had to do like, I don't know, 50, 60 signatures, easy. It was a lot of paperwork because this is it's definitely way more difficult than borrowing money from your line of credit, or or Visa or something, right? Visa you just pay, but I got myself into a tricky situation. Well, let's just say the tricky situation developed, so I didn't have a choice. So should get the money within a week. But yeah, so now they kind of like sank their teeth into my property. So if I don't pay the monthly fees, they can take the entire apartment. And I said, wait, so I'm borrowing this much, very little compared to the value, and they're gonna grab the entire apartment? And they said, well, they're gonna let's say they're gonna sell the apartment if I don't pay. They're gonna pay off my main mortgage, and then they're gonna pay off what I owe them. And then he says they'll charge about $25,000 in legal fees, and if there's anything left, which they'll give me. So he says, yeah, the trick is if they repossess it, there'll be super high legal fees. So I said, yeah, that's it. I understand. So sign here, sign here, sign here. But at least now I know that I'll be able to fix my car, my Jeep. Well, actually, I don't think they'll replace it, right? So there's no way. I don't think it'll cost more than, let's say, what's a replaceable value? Let's say 1-year-old Jeep with 30,000 kilometers, probably 40 grand retail, 35 wholesale. So that's still way more money than fixing it. I don't think fixing it will cost $35,000. I think it's more like 10 to 15,000, because my left side is fine. There's like one dent on the left side, but it's just the hood, the roof, the right side, and there's a couple of dents in the back. That plastic piece under the rear window and the rear right tail light. So anyway, that's what's happening. So getting money, fixing the Jeep, and getting serious about my future.
Street Northeast.
Well, I showed up at work at 11:15 because I stopped to have a DQ flamethrower 1/3
Turn left onto 14th Street Northeast.
of a pound burger. Man, these Dairy Queen burgers, they're something else. So just had a burger, 700 calories, and then I came to work, logged in to start my timer.
Continue on 14th Street Northeast for 800 meters.
And all I had to do was put on my safety boots and put on my safety vest. And I went to say hi to my dispatcher, and he points to his clothes and he says, see what happens when you don't show up for work? And his coat, his jacket, his pants are all covered in mud. I'm like, that was way too funny.
Meters, turn left onto Country
Because
Hills Boulevard
what
Northeast.
happens is that at my company, sometimes when they're short of drivers, they will tell the counter guys, that just usually work with customers at the counter, they will tell them to go grab
At the
some
light, turn
work
left
gloves
onto Country Hills Boulevard Northeast.
and go load scaffolding, And so now my first load is delivery. I'm delivering 2, I hate these, extendable ladders. One is 40 feet long and the other one is 32. And I tied them together over there. I don't know if you can see them. One of them sticks out over there a little bit. So I put 3 straps on them, and they rest on the frame behind the cab here. This is a pickup truck, Ford F-350, and the other end rests on the tailgate. And then I put 3 straps, and I made sure that I put them through the interior of the ladder so that it doesn't go back, right? Not just, over the top, but inside. It's a bit tricky, but it can be done. I move them quite often like this, and and I just make sure that they don't move, And the cool thing is that both of these ladders deliver to the same address. And then after this, I'm doing a pick up some pretty basic, very few parts, Baker scaffolding. It's a small scaffolding that people use in tight spaces. It's like yellow instead of blue. The blue is the big one, a real scaffolding. This is kind of like a baby scaffolding. So I pick up like 2 frames, 2 decks, like basically it's nothing to worry about. And then after that, I have to do another pickup. I have to pick up a auger. I don't like these either. Auger on wheels. It's an ugly machine. It has only 2 wheels, and then you have to lift the handles to push it. And I can hear my ladder singing. Well, like I always say, if you have 2 pieces of something, you're always safer, because if one piece falls off, you still have the other one. So sometimes they don't notice, like sometimes the customer will not notice if just one is missing. So of course I'm kidding. Wanted to mention that while I was talking to the lawyer, who was an Indian guy with the name of Tom. So Tom from India, but handsome dude, like looks like a sleek lawyer, except he was dressed like really informally, some kind of pants and a shirt, like no tie, no coat, nothing like that, just because he also does immigration, he does divorces, he does everything. And sorry about that. And I asked him, we started talking about, he saw my address where I live, and he says, oh, I have an apartment over there. And I see that he's a rich guy, he's like 30, 35, and I said, if you can tell me out of curiosity, how many properties do you own? And let's assume the guy is 35 years old. He says 4. So he has 4 properties, and he admitted that one of them he bought for cash, like an apartment of my size, so he paid like $180,000, $190,000 cash. Holy moly. And I'm sitting there, 62 years old, I have 1 apartment, and I'm getting a second mortgage on it. So, if you think I felt like an idiot, you're not far from the truth. But he's a lawyer. He probably makes like $500-600 a day, doing this stuff, and he spent a bunch of years at the university, right? And probably owed a bunch of money. But a lot of these guys that come here from India, they're rich, So let's say his parents came here, they had money, and they paid for his university, and he's a smart guy, and he started investing into real estate. But I'm just saying that. And I said, what's the plan, if you don't mind my asking? He said, are you gonna wait till the value doubles or something and then sell them? Or he says, no, I'll just keep renting them out. He's renting that 1-bedroom apartment in my building. So he owns it and he rents it out. The only difference between his apartment and mine is that mine is on the 1st floor, his is on the 4th floor, which some people prefer. Like some people like to be higher, some people like to be lower. I love my 1st floor apartment because I have a separate entrance. I don't have to use the main entrance. I have my own little entrance on the patio, right? Do you hear that? That's the ladder singing. So he says he charges $1,850, $1,850 a month for pretty much my apartment, but on the 4th floor. So that's what I can get if I decide to rent it out. You know, let's say if I go back to trucking and I'm gonna live in the truck or in the hotel like before, right? Whereas before I would be in the truck when I'm driving, and then I go to the hotel when I come back home. So if I rent it, I can get, well, let's say not 1850 because fourth floor is probably more valuable, but let's say 1750, which would cover the mortgage, the condo fees, the electric bill, the cable internet. So I'm pretty sure I don't have to pay if it's a tenant. I don't have to pay for the internet, and I don't have to pay for electricity. I think they have to pay extra. So basically, I'm saying that there would be even a profit. There probably would be like $200-300 profit when renting it out, and the apartment would keep increasing in value. So yeah, definitely selling it is out of the question because it's kind of like a goose that gives you the golden eggs, you know. Oh, and one other thing, this guy, remember the guy whose truck burned down? He's still with this American company. He now has a truck and trailer. And he was asking me if I'd be interested to work for him as a driver because he's buying a second truck. And I said, well, give me some numbers. Like, how much do you think you'll be able to pay? And like, what would be the arrangement? Cents per mile or percentage or salary? And he says, I'll get back to you. So he called me today. He says he's ready with some numbers. He says, I know you're working. Did you find a job yet? I said, what do you mean? You said, you know, I'm working. He says, no, you were saying that you wanted to go back to trucking. Did you find any long haul trucking job? I said, no, I'm still here at $24.50 an hour. And he says, okay, if you want, just call me after work, and I can give you some numbers. Basically, how much he would pay me if I drive for him, and how he's gonna work with finding loads, because his company, there's no dispatch. Like, his company has a load, like their own load board, and like, how do you book it? He books all the loads, or I book for myself and just get his okay. I don't know, but yeah, I'm gonna call him. And then also after this, I'm gonna go to a Chevy dealer, do a test drive on a Chevy Tahoe with a diesel 3-liter V6 diesel engine, and that thing can do. It has 8 seats, so it can carry 7 passengers. The only problem is that particular truck or SUV has cloth seats, and I explained to the sales guy over the phone. I said it's not gonna work, and he said, "Well, we can put leather if you want. It's about $3,000." I said, "How about vinyl? Would that be cheaper?" He says, "I never heard about people using vinyl anymore, but we can talk about it. So you want to come over when you get off work?" I said, "Sure. I'll give you a call." And he's like 20 kilometers away, so I'm gonna go check it out, do a test drive, so why not? Well, I just dropped off my ladders, and this is the area just south of downtown where they have these mansions over here. Man, this is a crazy neighborhood. Probably couple of million, 3 million easy for each house. Well, I'm at the GMC Chevy dealer, and I just looked at this. Sales guy was showing me this Yukon XL, because yeah, we tried. Actually, I took a Tahoe for a test drive, and it's cloth seats, which is not good, but it had the trunk is very small when you put the third row up. And then he showed me this. Look at the lights, man. I love this. Look, triple lights. So this is GMC Yukon, and these babies come with 3-liter V6 Duramax. Now this thing will last forever, you know, but inside actually, yeah, it's much bigger. And so he showed me this one, and then over here we have the real deal, the favorite vehicle of Secret Service, police, and federal forces. And this one is actually cheaper than that one. And I said, how is that possible? And he said, well, GMC is considered higher trim. So believe it or not, GMC Yukon is more money than Chevy Suburban. And inside it's the same exactly like that Chevy Tahoe I just drove. So the lights are, you know, pretty cool. And it's kind of like a protection, like glass protection over the lights. And yeah, this one definitely has much more room, but they've exactly the same as Yukon XL. As long as it's XL, yeah, same steering wheel as Chevy Tahoe, like inside exactly like Chevy Tahoe. And they have yeah, that's the one that we drove, I think. Yeah, we drove that black one, Chevy Tahoe. And so the only thing is that, yeah, and this thing has 7 passenger seats. The passenger over there, there's 3 here and 3 in the back. So you can do 7 passengers. And of course you need to have lots of space for luggage, right? Because there's 7 people coming with skis and toboggans, you know. Man, look at these. Yeah, see, like GMC, that's how you can tell. Yukon, they have these 3 triple lights, which is Suburban has kind of like this, you know, different. So Yukon, Suburban. So, but yeah, this would actually, yeah, Suburban has the same. So diesel engine, you know. And I asked him about colors. And he said that he can get any color. Like right now they only have black, white for Suburban, but oh, there's another one. But this one is probably used. Suburban, you see Duramax LT. Yeah, these are nice ones. So lots of toys, boys and girls. Time to go home and do more research.